Hi everyone! Welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be doing one math video, so you're welcome. You only have to watch one math video, so one video of me. We're going to be combining our What Do You Notice and our math lesson today. Remember, we're not doing any story problems because I feel that it takes a lot of time to do a story problem when we have other activities that we can be doing to learn more about shapes. So yesterday we talked about shapes and their attributes, and today we have this image, and I want you to look at the image, and I want you to think about, what do you notice about this image? Because there's an image of something, and there are some shapes. So connecting those, what do you notice? Remember, you can pause the video to give yourself more think time and share out loud or share with somebody near you. What do you notice about this image? Miss T, what do you notice?
Well, I noticed that this might be Miss Yakimowich's favorite animal, but I noticed that there's a gray spot and then there's some colorful shapes on the side that I think we might have to use to color the animal.
Okay, it's a great noticing. What do other teachers? Do you guys have an idea? Have something else to add, or you guys agree with Miss T? Miss Rosales, do you have something else you'd like to add?
I just want to say that I agree with you. I am also noticing that we've done this with numbers before, though, where we put things together and pull things apart. And so I think it was, what was that special word, Miss Hernandez?
Composing and decomposing.
Yeah, totally.
Wow, what a great connection. So composing means putting things together, and decomposing means taking a number apart, right? Or something apart, because you can also decompose an object. So yeah, so here we have an image, a great image of a cat. And I chose a cat, of course, because I love cats. You can tell. And what we can do, this is called a tangram, and you're given an image, and then you're able to create that image using shapes. And so what shapes do you guys notice here on the sides? I know they're colorful, they're very vibrant. What do you see? What shapes do you see? Miss Hernandez, what shape do you see?
I see different kinds of triangles. I see perhaps a square that might be tilted to the side.
Right.
And I think the bottom one looks like a rhombus.
Perfect. And this is actually a new shape. We didn't discuss it this week, but it looks like a stretched rectangle. So if you were to look at this side, pretend like somebody is stretching this corner, and you'll see that it's a little slanted. It's called a rhombus, and it's a polygon, and polygons are shapes that have 4 or more sides. So this one has exactly 4 sides, and it reminds me a lot of a rectangle, except it's slanted, right? It's kind of like stretched. So that's a rhombus. So we're going to use these shapes. Yes, Mr. Zales, do you have something to add on?
Yes. We could also call that a parallelogram, which is something that we connect back to what we did last week, where we talk about opposing sides having lines across.
Right. So it is a parallelogram because like Ms. Rosales showed us in our last video, I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but she told us that that both squares and rectangles have parallel lines, right? And parallel lines are lines that continue to go to continue to move. They never cross each other, right? So they just continue forever and ever and ever. So it's also a parallelogram. Thank you, Ms. Rosales, for adding that new definition to our vocabulary. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to be using these shapes to create our cat. And so what shape should I move around first? Does anyone have a suggestion? Mr. Hernandez?
Well, if it's going to be a cat, I'm looking at the tail, and it looks like the rhombus might fit that tail.
Perfect. And we're going to actually give you the link to this website so that you can create either a cat or any other animals that you would like to create using our shapes. And they're all down here, the different animals that you can create. All right, so I have my rhombus, and they have this cool little tool that we can use to move our shape around, and it fits perfectly right there. Well, let me move it a little bit more. All right, there we go. All right, what's the next shape we should move around, Miss T?
I was thinking about the ears, but I'm
Ooh,
not
okay.
really sure if I should use a small triangle for the ears or a medium. So I might have to play around with it to see what's going to fit. But I know I'm going to have to rotate it so that the straight side is on the left.
Perfect. So we notice here that the tip of the ears make a triangular shape, right? There's like 1, 2, and if there's another side right here, it'd be 3 sides, and we know that a shape with 3 sides is a triangle. So which one should we start playing around with, Miss T? This blue triangle, this fuchsia triangle, the pink, the red, or the teal triangle?
I'm thinking maybe the pink one.
Okay, this pink one?
Yes.
All right, let's move it around and let's see what we got. Ooh, so if we do like if we use this pink triangle, it gets the face and the ear.
Oh,
What do we think? Do we want to leave it there or try a different shape?
we could try.
Yeah, Mr. Zaz is saying, I agree. I think we should leave it there. And so is Miss Hernandez. So we can leave it there. All right. So Miss Rosales, what's the next shape we should look at? So I'm thinking the ear, but
I wanted to see how much of the body we can cover. Can we do the blue one right underneath the pink one?
all right. So you tell me how I should move it.
Right underneath the pink one.
All right. Like
Yes.
that. Okay, look at there. We got part of the body and the head of the cat. All right, going back to you, Miss Hernandez, what's the next shape we should work with?
I'm looking near the tail, the back part of his body. It kind of looks like a square shape. So I think I want to move the green one in there.
Okay. So should we rotate it or leave it like this?
Rotate it. Ooh, that's a little on the small side. So I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah, I'm kind
So
of.
we can move that out. And let's try that fuchsia colored triangle and slide it over next to the blue, but tilt it the other way. And then slide it up right there.
Ooh, okay.
So we got a bigger part of the body done.
Yeah. All right, Miss T, what should we do next?
Well, I'm looking at the shapes we have left, and I know there's no spot for the square.
Yeah,
So
I'm noticing that too.
wondering if maybe we can play with the blue and the fuchsia triangles a little bit to make it, because I know 2 triangles in a certain way can make a rectangle. So I'm wondering if we can rotate it a little bit to make a rectangle.
Okay, so let's see. These are equilateral triangles, so I'm not. That was the same one.
Oh, maybe there. Oh, wait, no, that's where we were before.
Yeah, just move the pink out. No, not the fuchsia. Keep the fuchsia where it is.
Oh, okay. So Miss Rosales is saying a different idea, and then maybe move this one around, flip it.
Yes.
So maybe like this?
Yes, and then put the green square tilted.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
Look at Miss Rosales.
Wow.
So nice. So we actually realized that our pink square, even though it fit perfectly with the ear and the face, it wasn't allowing the other shapes to complete the puzzle, right? The tangram. So we had to play around with it and see which one was the best fit for this cat. And that kind of reminds me of when we do Reader's Workshop and we look for the best fit book. I know, it just reminded me of that. All right, so what's the next shape we should use, Miss Rosales?
I thought I stole a turn.
Oh, you did. Okay, let me go back to Miss T and give her back her chance. All right, Miss T, what's our next shape we should use?
No, you're good. Maybe then instead of that pink triangle that we moved out, we can put it where the butt of the cat is.
All right, here. Okay, it's probably easier to do this on the iPad, so you get to move it with your fingers. All right, now we have 2 triangles. Miss Hernandez, where should our teal triangle go?
Well, I know you're thinking it's a cat, but to me, I'm looking at it more like as if it were a fox. So
Ooh.
I would turn that teal to be one of the ears.
Okay, so we can move it. It looked like it was 90 degrees.
Mhm.
Perfect. It does look like a fox, huh? All right, Miss T, or Miss Rosales, sorry. What should our next shape, where should our next shape go? We have a triangle.
I think that we only have the triangle. So
Yeah, we do only have the triangle. So it fits right here in the other ear. And there you can see that we did an entire cat made out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triangles, 1 square, and a rhombus. And that kind of reminds me of a number sentence, so I'm going to write it. So we have 4 triangles.
5.
Oh, 5 triangles. Thank you, Miss Hernandez. Plus 1 rhombus, and I always forget how to spell this.
RHOMBUS.
Plus 1 square equals a cat. And so there we have our equation that fits our tangram. And from this, we're going to give you a link on your Seesaw inbox. You're going to get, actually, as an assignment, you're going to get the Seesaw link to this tangram website where you can create other shape or other characters, animals, or other they have some basic shapes here that you can see. So like like other people, houses, trees, or some geometry shapes if you want to make some other shapes that we haven't talked about. And then some new shapes. There's Princess Leia and Elsa and a goatee. All of these very interesting objects that you can create. So you'll get the link to this on your Seesaw account as an assignment. But I also want to show you what you're going to be doing on iExcel. So you have a double assignment. You can do this tangram on Seesaw, and you are going to be filling in shapes using other shapes. So you're going to create a bigger shape on iExcel using the shapes that we see here. And so I'm going to put the code for this is YEU, and I'm going to put it right here. So our code is YEU. And you know what to do. You grab your iPad, you click on the iExcel app, and you type in, you find the magnifying glass, and you type in YEU, and then it should say compose 2-dimensional shapes. And that's all you're doing. So it's just like the tangrams that we were using today on our Tangram Builder website, but instead we're not using, they're not shapes that are images that we know every day. We're actually going to come up with the images. Our teachers are just going to shout out what it reminds them of. So here it says use 3 pieces to fill in the shape. And so they gave us 3 different shapes. Right here, I see, it kind of reminds me of a rectangle. Does anyone know what this shape is called? Miss T?
I think it's called a trapezoid.
A trapezoid, perfect. And a trapezoid is a polygon. It has 4 sides, and it reminds me a lot of a triangle because 2 of the sides are equal, but the other 2 are not, right? You notice that this one is shorter than the bottom side. So that just kind of reminds me of like a half pyramid. And then if you put a triangle on top, it makes the whole pyramid. And then here, what shape is this, Miss Hernandez?
We can call it a rhombus because I know it has 4 sides and the opposite sides are parallel.
Yes, and a lot of you know rhombuses as diamonds. So this is the way that you can see a rhombus. It's also a diamond if it's oriented in this specific way. And then lastly, Miss Rosales, what's this shape that we see?
It's a triangle.
A triangle, and it looks like it's an equilateral triangle. So
That's right.
we're going to use these shapes to fill in this other shape that we're going to guess what it is. All right, Miss T, what's the first shape we should use?
Maybe we can use the trapezoid because I can kind of see the outline of on the bottom already.
Ooh, I see right here. Are you looking at this part? Yeah, I can see the top of the trapezoid and the bottom. All right, let's try it out. So I'm going to drag it, and they give you a lot of trapezoids to play around with, but it only says to use 3 pieces. So 1 right there. Okay. All right, so that's 1 of our pieces. Now we need 2 more. So Miss Rosales, what's the next shape we should use?
I'm so glad that you said 3 pieces because I was so tempted to put another trapezoid.
Good, yeah.
Let's go with the rhombus, the blue
All right.
rhombus.
Where should the rhombus go?
Directly connected to the pink trapezoid. So one of its sides. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. All right. And last but not least, Miss Hernandez, what's the last shape we can use?
Well, the outline looks like a triangle, so let's try the triangle shape.
Perfect. Here we go. And teachers, what does that shape remind you of? What would it be?
I feel like an arm flexing.
Ooh, yeah, it is like an arm. All right.
I thought it was an elf's foot.
Elf's foot. I can see that. So we're gonna submit. Remember, we only used 3 shapes, so 1, 2, 3. And even though they gave us extra, they're being very generous. Now we're gonna submit and see if we got the correct answer. Awesome, wonderful. All right, we're gonna do 2 more, and then the rest is for you to enjoy. Okay, so now we have this other shape. It reminds me, actually, just looking at it, it reminds me of a beaker that people use in science labs. So what's the first shape we can use, Miss T?
Thank you for asking me first because the first thing I could think of was the square at the very top.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to figure this out, right? It's hard to visualize what shapes would need to fit.
But it's fun because it's like problem solving.
It's just like problem solving. Thank you. All right, Miss Hernandez, what's the next shape we can use?
I think I want to try a trapezoid. Connected to the square, but tilted. Okay, let's try that. All the way against the square.
All right.
Let's try
and
that.
It says, and I forgot to read the directions, which is very important. It says use 4 pieces to fill in the shape. So even though we have 3 different shapes, we're expected to use 4 pieces. So that's important information. So that helps us a lot. Miss Rosales, what's the next shape we should use?
Well, I was going to, let's go with the pink one. My only indecision was on where, either the left or the right side. But if we put it on the left side, that blue is not going to fit. So can we switch it to the right side?
And Miss Rosales noticed that we actually can't move around these shapes. We can't rotate them. We can only keep them as they are. So it's not as interactive as it is in the Tangram builder where we can move them, flip them, right? But these ones, we have to keep them the way they are, which could be helpful. So we're gonna use, I'm gonna choose the last one. Let's try to see if we can use this rhombus to fit inside of this space. Ooh, and it fits perfectly. And we used 4 shapes, a triangle, 2 trapezoids, and 1 rhombus or parallelogram. And then let's see what, and does anyone have a different idea of what this shape is? I know I said a beaker. Does anyone have, Miss Rosales, what are you thinking?
It's a dress.
The same thing.
Yeah, I can see that. It's a dress, like a quinceañera dress or a nice gown. Yes. All right, let's see. Yay! All right, we got 1 more, and then you are on your own. Okay. So here we have a shape that's new to us too. Actually, no, it's not. This is the shape that we've learned about. What is this shape called, Miss T?
A hexagon.
A hexagon. And it's called a hexagon because it has 6 sides. Hex means 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. And Miss T, what's the first shape we can use?
I'm going to use the hexagon.
The hexagon. Did I plant that information in your head? I forgot about to introduce the other shapes. So then we have our rhombus or parallelogram, and then our equilateral triangle. Okay, Miss Hernandez, what's the next shape we should use?
I think I want to try the rhombus just below the hexagon.
All right. So like this.
There. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Miss Rosales, last shape that we want to use.
I think I want to go with the parrot. No, I'm just kidding. Triangle, please.
Triangle. And let's make sure that we're following the directions. It says use 3 pieces to fill in the shape. And did we use 3 pieces? Yes. 1, 2, 3. It's nice that they give us different colors for each of the shapes. Okay, what do we think this is?
A bubblegum machine?
Ooh. That? I can see that. Miss Hernandez?
It looks like the top of a person, the head, and maybe the shoulders.
I can see that. And it reminds me of like a little ribbon that we get for doing amazing jobs. Like a little ribbon. Yeah. Okay. And let's see if we got the answer right. Yay! Ooh, we were just going to get into the challenge zone. Ooh, so maybe if you are doing your very best, and we got, that's why, because we got a SMART score of 90. So if you get a SMART score of 90, you will be in the challenge zone too, and you can challenge yourself to reach that 100 SMART score of 100. Have fun. Remember, we're going to create an assignment that has the Tangram builder, so you can do that assignment on Seesaw. And for iExcel, the code is YEU, so that we can search for that. It should say compose 2-dimensional shapes. Have fun and practice the vocabulary. Whenever you're looking at a shape, ask yourself, what's the name of this shape, and how do you know what the name is? By its attributes. Have fun, everyone, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Subscribe.